Good morning students. In this video I am discussing about pancreas and intestinal glands. First starting with pancreas. When we discuss the digestive system, I showed you that below posterior to the stomach a gland is present, that is pancreas. It is soft lobulated gland that weighs almost 60 grams in weight. If we the structure of pancreas, basically this pancreas is composed of two components, two segments. The inner segment that is visible to you is the endocrine part of pancreas, and the outer lobules are the exocrine parts. These outer lobules, they are basically known as pancreatic acini, and this is pancreatic duct. These two are making the exocrine part, and this inner segment is the endocrine part. This is composed of various type of cells, and combinedly it is known as islets of Langerhans. These islet of Langerhans are made up of various cells. These are the outer periphery is containing alpha cells, and some inner cells are known as beta cells. A few cells among these are known as, which are present at the periphery, they are known as delta cells. And last are pancreatic polypeptide cells. So all these four type of cells are known as islets of Langerhans, and this is the endocrine part of pancreas. So pancreas is a heterocrine gland that is composed of an endocrine segment and a exocrine segment. Now let's discuss about each of the segment. See, this exocrine part is basically involved in secretion of pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice will be helping in the digestion of several components of food. So all these globules, these are going to secrete pancreatic juice, and finally this pancreatic juice will be entering in this pancreatic duct, and this pancreatic duct is going to open into duodenum, and it is going to pour all the pancreatic juice inside the duodenum. Now let's discuss about the endocrine part. Firstly, the alpha cell. These alpha cells, obviously if they are endocrine parts, they are going to release hormones. So these alpha cells are going to release hormone that is known as glucagon. What is the function of glucagon? Basically in our liver glycogen is stored. So whenever our body is facing a problem, or you can say there is deficiency of glucose in blood, then this glucagon is going to break down the glycogen into glucose. This reaction will be done by glucagon, and this glucose is going to enter into our bloodstream. Second is beta cells. Beta cells are going to release a hormone that is insulin. If we see the function of glucagon and insulin, basically these are working antagonists to each other. That means this insulin is converting extra glucose that is present in bloodstream into glycogen, and this glycogen is stored in liver. So whenever our blood is having more amount of glucose, insulin will function, and it will convert it into glycogen, and it will be stored in liver. And when there will be deficiency of glucose, glucagon is going to break down this glycogen into glucose. So they are working antagonists to each other. Now insulin is important because whenever there is deficiency of insulin, when there is less secretion of insulin, it leads to a disease that is known as diabetes mellitus. Now what is happening in this diabetes mellitus? It simply means insulin is not enough to convert glucose into glycogen. That means continuously in our bloodstream level of glucose is increasing. So this condition is diabetes mellitus, that is caused due to the deficiency of insulin, and such patients are given the injections of insulin. Third one is delta cells. The delta cells are going to release a hormone that is somatostatin. This somatostatin is functioning as an inhibitor. It inhibits the alpha cells and beta cells to release their hormones. That means it is inhibiting the secretion of insulin and glucagon. And the fourth one are pancreatic polypeptide cells. These pancreatic polypeptide cells are going to release a hormone that is pancreatic polypeptide, and this pancreatic polypeptide is also acting as an inhibitor, and it is inhibiting the secretion of pancreatic juice. That means it is working on the exocrine part of pancreas, and inhibition of pancreatic juice will take place because of pancreatic polypeptides. Pancreatic juice is composed of various type of enzymes, and these enzymes are responsible for digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Some of the enzymes over here also are also released in form of proenzymes. Now we already discussed that proenzymes are basically those enzymes which are released in inactivated form, and basically the protein digesting enzymes are released as proenzymes. These are trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidases. And some enzymes are secreted in functional form like amylase, pancreatic amylase, DNase, RNase. So these are the different type of enzymes. Pancreatic lipase is also there. These are helpful in the digestion of different food components. We will discuss when discuss about the digestion portion. And now the last gland that is of our alimentary canal is intestinal glands. See, intestinal glands, just like we discussed in stomach, these are formed from our epithelium. The innermost lining is made up of epithelium, and this epithelium is going to give rise to the intestinal glands. The intestinal glands are of two types. They are crypts of Lieberkühn and Brunner's gland. How these glands are present? See, intestine is going to fold, and the folding of intestine is going to give rise to villi. Villi we discussed earlier also. This is how villi are present, and the function of villi are to increase the surface area for absorption of food. So the upper portion of villi are involved in the absorption part. So this structure will be involved in absorption, and the lower part of villi is composed of various type of cells which are involved in secretion. So this part of villi will be having cells that will be involved in secretion, and the upper portion will be involved in absorption of digested food. So here these are villi, and different type of cells will be present over here. This is intestinal epithelial cells. These are simple one single layer epithelial cells which are involved in absorption part, and this is similar how the lower part is also having cells, but these cells are now adapted their function in secretion. So this is how cells are present. If I have to locate the crypts of Lieberkühn, that is present between the villi, the surface that is present between the villi is known as crypts of Lieberkühn. and here different type of cells are present, like argentaphin cells are present, which are again involved in the secretion of various hormones, and Paneth cells are present. And to this base, here the cells are present, and these cells are going to make the base cells are going to make our Brunner's gland. Now what function they are performing? This portion is also, the crypt of lubricant is also having some goblet glands, and the goblet glands are involved in the process of secretion of mucus. The argentaphin cells, they are involved in secretion of hormones like secretin. Paneth cells, basically function is not known, but it is said that they are involved in the function like just like that lysozyme. Lysozyme functions as antimicrobial structure. So Paneth cells are involved in phagocytosis also and functions as lysozyme. The Brunner gland are also responsible for the secretion of enzymes and mucus, which will be part of intestinal juice. So intestinal glands are going to secrete lots of enzyme, mucus, and that combinedly known as intestinal juice. So all these structures are going to form part of intestinal juice. Now this intestinal juice, basically almost 2000 to 3000 ml of intestinal juice will be released every day, and it is containing various enzymes. This intestinal juice is containing enzymes like maltase, isomaltase, dextrinase, enterokinase. It is also containing amylase, lipase. So there are lots of enzymes that are present in these intestinal juice. Intestinal juice is also known as, there is another name of intestinal juice, that is known as succus entericus. So these are all different type of glands that are present in our intestine, or you can say that are present in our alimentary canal, and later on we will discuss how the enzymes that are present in these glands are acting upon the food which we are consuming.